airplane. Also, as we go down the street, look to your left and the right. You can see to the right portions of the Charles River. It was single-family mansions with circular driveways and barns and stables in the back. Changing economic fortunes dictated otherwise, and most of the buildings are very close together. There's only one building, actually, that is a freestanding mansion up there. It's well worth seeing. Graduating from Harvard in 1781, he took the grand tour of Europe, and upon his return became a gentleman architect, and when he lost most of his money in a project, he became an architect by profession. Designed our state capitol, buildings at Harvard, entire neighborhoods, streets, hospitals, insurance companies.
Yeah, sure, Nami. We're going down near the bar and have a few beers there with Carla and Sammy and everyone. Thank you for that round of applause. You humbled me with your applause. Did you recognize that voice? Yeah, you'll learn to talk Boston here before your stay is over. Now, everything to our right is landfill. This was once a large swamp filled in over the course of 60 years. Look up these streets. They're laid out in what they call a Regency style. Alphabetically, they run Arlington, which we are on now. The next one parallel is Berkeley. The next is Clarendon, Dartmouth, Exeter, Fairfield, Gloucester, and Hereford. Commonwealth Avenue here is a central tree-shaded mall. Many different styles of architecture here in the Back Bay.
Who's the guy on the horse on the farm?
The guy on the horse to our left, oh, you can see him. That's George Washington. And he's facing Alexander Hamilton over to the right. Mr. Hamilton is facing his commander-in-chief, who's that statue's been up there since 1869. First equestrian statue of Washington in Boston. You come out here. This lovely building on our left is the former Museum of Natural History. When it's Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your stay in Boston, and we'll see you, I'm sure, a number of times through the course of your stay.
Let's go, Eagle Star! Let's go, Eagle Star! One more time! Let's go, Eagle Star! Welcome, welcome, Eagle Star! Directors, members, near and far! Eagle Star thinks you're the best. They've flown you all this way out west for a trip that's packed with style. To show your efforts are worthwhile. So welcome, welcome, Eagle Star. Directors, members, rah, rah, rah! Let's go, Eagle Star!
That's right,
Working good.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So where are we going?
Like that's Cheers, when they filmed the exterior shots for the TV show Cheers. Now the inside doesn't look like you see on TV. That part was filmed in Hollywood, but they did all the exterior shots here. The inside's pretty nice.
On the board. Beautiful. Best one. Best one ever. Where's my book?
Yes, that's
someone used to have it that you sort of and you lose your dad. You don't need an overhead to get to the bug trap. Enjoy your feelings. So worried about that.
Are you ready?
Training around the house. Yeah. I bet you want to go. Sorry, get the G string on. He's 4, he's very young. He's quite advanced for age. He says, Daddy, make sure you close your door. Mummy will get angry with you.
And I don't know where she is up from. Take it off now.
Well, I don't think I was, but I hear, a lot of people have expressed different views about me.
It's good with the server though,
Right over here.
Responsibilities are very wide indeed. They span both the UK and overseas. As an example, he was recently out in Taiwan a couple of weeks ago to open our new life operation there, a joint venture relationship with a major partner in Taiwan, and it's going to be a very major company in its own right. And so to actually have George and Rosemary here with us for a few days, and they arrived yesterday and they're due to go back tomorrow night, is really something that I feel honoured about, and I hope that we all feel honoured, and absolutely delighted that they're here, because it's to actually find time in George's diary and for George to come here in this way, something really very special indeed. So I'd actually like to ask George to come up and say a few words, and if we can all say, show our appreciation, please.
Well, thank you, Ian. I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that Ian is a very hard man. He's made me work at Eagle Star for 2 years before I could qualify to come on a convention. I don't know about you, but I find Boston enormously interesting. And you can't get away from the Irish element in Boston, can you? No. I mean, it is absolutely everywhere. And then you come over on the plane, and there's also a movie called The Quiz Show. And it reminds me of the Irish Quiz Show. I don't know whether you know about the Irish Quiz Show. Very popular in Dublin. And the basis of the show is that there will be 3 questions. And the 3 questions get more difficult. So the first question is easy, and by the time you get the 3rd question, it's very difficult. And so Paddy is competing in the quiz show. And the quiz master says to him, you know, are you ready for the first question, Paddy? Paddy says, yes, sir, I'm ready for the first question. So the quiz master says, the first question, Paddy, is, what is pink and 8 inches long and pokes out of a gentleman's pyjamas? And Paddy thinks very carefully about this before he says, his foot, sir. And the quiz master says, you're right, Paddy. Are you ready for question number 2? So Paddy says, yes, sir, I'm ready for question number 2. The quiz master says, well, question number 2, Paddy, is a little bit more difficult. He said, where do women have short, black, curly hair? And Paddy kind of thought very hard about this, and then his eyes lit up as the inspiration came, and he said, Africa, sir. And the quiz master said, right now, Paddy, you're ready for the 3rd question, but I've got to tell you, because it's very difficult, you can ask the help of anybody in the audience. And Paddy looked in the audience and he saw the Bishop of Dublin sitting there, and he said, well, I'd like to choose the Bishop of Dublin because he's a very wise and intelligent man. He said, so I choose the Bishop of Dublin to help me with the 3rd question. And the Bishop of Dublin said, it's no good asking me, Paddy, I got the answer to the first 2 wrong. Man, and that's David Hall. David and Margaret, of course, are here with us on the convention, and David has done an enormous amount over the years, in fact, to create these conventions and the Directors Club. And David is one of those special kinds of people that you do tend to find in Eagle Star. He started in the business when he was 15 years of age. He knows it all. In my 2 years in the business, he's given me an enormous amount of wise counsel and help. And this will, of course, be David's last convention because he's retiring. And I just would like to give you my personal thanks, David, for everything that you've done for Eagle Star, but also, in particular, for the help that you've given me personally, encouraged me to give me. And I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you'd all express your appreciation too for David Moore. Quite a lot of doom and gloom around in the UK at the moment in terms of life and pension business. I have to tell you though that I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic because the need for what we do is always there, and in fact it will increase over the years, it will not decrease. And I believe that as we get our act together, and I'd like to pay tribute to the leadership that Ian Owen gives to our business. I think you've got a superb leader in Ian Owen. I think he's got a fine strategy, and as Ian continues with that strategy and with the backing that Eagle Star gets from BAT Industries, we're going to come out as one of the winners. And as you see salespeople in the industry fall by the wayside, I think in a year or two, as the market expands, we'll be in a very, very good and healthy position. So again, I'm glad to be here to pay my special tribute to Dr. Ian Owen, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just leave you though with one serious thought before I sit down, and that is just to remind all of us why we're in this business. We're in this business because a lot of people in our country are underprovided for and underprotected. And we have a very, very serious job to do. We should be proud of the job we do. We can often make the difference for people, the difference between dignity and destitution. And I, for one, am very, very proud to be with our business. I'm proud to be chairman of Eagle Star, and I'm very proud of all of you and the superb job that you do. Thank you very much indeed.
We got the rudder hard.
We need
one engine in reverse, the other
look at all
forward.
Steve, we want you to All we're saying is this turning base.
I think so. That's what it says in the book. I didn't finish it. It does it all by itself. You're Irish!
We did. Probably. Probably got a bit of it somewhere. Yeah.